Good morning, good morning, good morning. For some reason, my audio didn't come on this morning when I was going on. So, can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Just give me a thumbs up if my audio is working. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Just want to make sure that you guys are hearing me. Okay, I got a yes from Miss Annie. Cool. So that must mean you guys are hearing me. Let's give some shout outs. Good morning. Today is Marketplace Monday. I am Pastor Nick. Thank you so much for joining. Today, we're going to continue talking about starting your own business, preparation and planning. Before I pray today, I just want to say that what I find, this is something my pastor used to talk about a lot. The biggest challenge I find with people in starting their own business is they are always in a hurry. Everybody's always in a hurry, always in a hurry to start their business, and you need to understand this. This is a key essential when it comes to having a business. The greater your preparation, the greater your preparation, the further your business will go. The greater your preparation, the further your business will go. The greater the foundation, the taller your building will be built. I don't know if you guys ever watched them build. Ray's probably on. He's probably watched them build these skyscrapers in New York City. They spend years pounding those pylons into the ground to build that structure on. And it just seems like once all the pylon building stops, it seems like the building just goes up so fast. The better and the bigger your foundation, the more structure you have, the more preparation you have, the more trial and error that you go through before you get into business is really going to help you elevate your business. And I just want to say this too. There are a lot of people out there that want to start businesses because they can't succeed in the corporate world. Let me say that again. There are a lot of people out there that think they want to start businesses because they failed everywhere else they went. They either can't keep a job, they can't take instruction, they can't take correction. The minute they don't get what they want, they leave the job. The minute they don't get what they want to hear, they get an attitude. Please understand, till you can successfully be successful in an environment that's already set up for success, you're never going to go to an environment that's not set up for success and be successful. You need to get a revelation of that. You can talk to God all you want about it. My pastor used to say it this way. If you can't get 10 or 15 or 20 people to follow you to this church, where we're already established, there's hundreds of members, there's a building, there's all the stuff that a person would naturally want to come and see. There's already a choir, there's already all of that. If you can't get people to come to this church, what makes you think you're going to get people to trust you to come to a storefront church? Are you with me? Are you with me? Let's think about if you started a business as a CPA. Let's just use a CPA. You want to start your own CPA firm. If you can't go to work for a company and manage a group of accountants, office staff, and other CPAs within a established, let's say, Orlando-based CPA firm, you can't grow that staff. What makes you think you're going to be able to grow your own staff? Let's use Jeremiah as an example. If Jeremiah wanted to start a business, a marketing company and creative team, do a lot of what he does at the church today. We're actually going to start a business doing that. But let's say you want to do one on his own, right? Well, if he's not learning and if he can't grow a staff within the church where he don't have to worry about paying rent. He don't have to worry about paying people. He don't have to worry about buying equipment. He don't have to worry about anything outside of just building the organization, leading the organization. That's the only thing he has to worry about. He don't have to go do advertising to get business. He don't have to do sales. He don't have to do marketing. He don't have to do accounting. He don't have to do books. He don't have to do any of that. All he's got to do is run that organization. If he can't do that part, what makes you think he'll ever build a successful business? Well, Pastor, maybe he just don't want to do that because it's not his. If it was his, he would be motivated to do more. Well, then you're going against the scripture, because the Bible says he who is faithful in that which is another man's, God will then make you ruler of that which is your own. Because if your only reason for wanting to be in business is because it's about you, then you got a heart problem. And that business won't succeed anyway. Every successful business you see in America are generally businesses that were built with others in mind, not just themselves. They were built on a greater vision of doing greater good for others. So we need to think about these things, right? As we think about businesses. If a business is if you're creating and starting a business just to fill your greed for money, number one, that's why most people start businesses, your greed for money. I didn't say your desire to want your family to be better, because, some families are good where you're at, but you have a greed for money. So now you want to say it's about your family. No, it's about your greed for money. Or number two, here's the second reason most unsuccessful businesses start: your need to be seen and your need to have the approval of people. See, there are some people, you see this in the church a lot. They can't serve without everybody knowing they're serving. Matter of fact, the only reason why they serve is so everybody can see them. They're the people, the only reason why they do good, they don't want to do good. They want to do good where everybody can see what they're doing. Why? Because they're deeply insecure. That too will never succeed. So we're talking about starting your own business. We're talking about preparing and planning, right? So we want you to start a successful business, right? That's why I talk about these things as far as building the structure and building the ground. So today, what we want to talk about on this episode is primarily choosing your business structure. Again, another important part of starting a business. Business structure. What's going to be the legal structure in which you choose for your business? Because that's going to have a great impact. How you choose to legally structure your business is going to have a great impact on the requirements of structuring that business, on how much taxes you ultimately will pay on that business, and lastly, what will your personal liability be for that business? So the structure of your business is really going to impact three areas. Number one, what are the registration requirements? Number two, how much taxes will you pay? And number three, what will be the personal liability of that business? See why it's so important that you prepare? See why it's so important that you get into other companies, whatever it is that you want to do. I hear people tell me, I want to go do this business. And I tell them, go work in that business for a couple of years. They look at me cross-eyed. They look at me like I just cussed them out. I want to start a restaurant. I hear people tell me this, I want to start a restaurant. But you can't work at a restaurant for 6 months without quitting. Oh, it's hard work. But you want to go, now you want to go get a food truck. But you can't work in a restaurant for 6 months. I want to have a school. Okay, go be a teacher for a couple of years. They don't want to do that. I want to start a construction company, Pastor. Okay, go be a carpenter for a little while. Go be a plumber. They don't want to do that, right? Well, Pastor, you don't have to do the thing that you're for the business that you're starting. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You got to be able to do that thing. And when you talk about organizing your business, the reason why these things are so important is because there's really 4 different ways that you can set your business up, and each one of those ways greatly differs. The more popular one now today is LLC. People are telling all of y'all, well, go start your LLC, get your business established, start getting your business credit. The last thing you need to worry about is business credit. Are you saying an LLC is bad, Pastor? I didn't say that. Every one of these, an LLC is a limited liability protection. Now, it's funny. Why would an LLC be called a limited liability protection? Limited. See, that's the first thing. If I read the word LLC, I'm going to want to know, what does limited mean? Because I don't want limited liability protection. I want full liability protection. So I go find that out. What does that mean? It may not mean nothing, but I would go find it out. Just because I saw somebody on Facebook say start an LLC so you could establish your business, I wouldn't go do that. So you got an LLC, you got a corporation, and within corporation umbrella, you have a C corp and you have an S corp. They're two very different things. You have a nonprofit, which is what our church is, and then you have a sole proprietorship. All of those are very different things. So there's 4 different ways that you can structure your business. Now, the main question that comes up for most, especially today because they're on Facebook so much with it, is what's the difference between an LLC and a corporation? Well, first of all, both protects the owners so that they're not personally liable or on the hook for business liabilities or debts. That's the first thing you need to understand. Both of those will protect your personal assets. But the key difference includes how the owners or the LLCs have to be one or more individual owners, and a corporation as a corp has shareholders. So you have ownership versus shareholders. It also differs in how they're maintained. Corporations generally are going to require a more formal record keeping and reporting requirements. And even though LLCs are considered easier to start and maintain, investors, remember we were talking a couple of sessions ago about investors. See, that's why I try to tell you. See, people with LLCs are always telling you about going out and getting debt. And think about the mindset in which they're telling you. They're not here talking to you about how you're going to pay that debt back. They're not here talking to you about how your business plan is structured. Why? Because it's a con. Most of those people don't even pay back that debt. They go out and get all this stuff in an LLC, and then they file bankruptcy. Let me tell you something, folks. All the shenanigans you do will ultimately catch up with you. You can put in all the shell games you want. When a person's going to loan you money and going to give you stuff and people are going to invest in you, they're going to cross-reference your name. If you put something in an LLC, they'll be able to cross-reference back that you had that LLC. And you're going to sit right in front of them. They're going to ask you, well, whatever happened with that? Oh. So don't think that these things are ultimately going to catch up to you and find you out. And number 2, don't ever build something and start something with the idea of you're not going to honor your obligations. Remember, we're Christians. We don't do things the way the world does them. So even though an LLC may seem easier on the surface, sometimes it's the right thing for you to do. But sometimes, especially if you're looking to get investment, right? Especially if you're looking to have shareholders and have people invest in your company so that you don't have to take on debt. a corporation may be better. Now, like I said, in the corporation structure, you also have the C Corp and the S Corp. A C Corp is essentially taxed twice. So you really want to understand how that works, right? They pay business taxes and they pay taxes on the net income, right? And the shareholders actually pay taxes on the income they receive as well, where with an S corporation, the income is only taxed. So on an S corporation income, only the shareholders pay on that, right? And they only pay taxes on the profits that's received from the company, on the profits they receive from the company. Look, we ran out today, but we'll keep going on this because these are very important. Understanding, how to set up your company is very important, right? And the main thing I wanted you to get from today is make sure that before you get to this stage, setting up a company, because I know people always want you to set up a company, right? Get it set up, get it established so you can get credit. It's always about getting credit. Let me tell you something. You need to get experience. You need to get wisdom. You need to get understanding. Don't worry about setting up all this legal stuff, right? Until you're ready to start your business. But you need to be developed in what it is that you're believing God for you to do. And you need to get in there and get real on-hands experience. There's nothing greater. When you begin to talk to shareholders about your business, let's say you want to be a general contractor, and you could say to shareholders, hey, I worked over here. Hey, I did this. Working in these other places when you start your business, people are going to want to know your resume. When we did Voxeo, and we sold Voxeo, and then Jonathan was starting other companies, it was real easy to get people to invest in our company. Why? Because we just told the story of what we did at Voxeo, how he took a company out of bankruptcy, built it up, and sold it for $200 million. That's his credit. That's what he stands on. That's what he did, right? So you could do the same before you start your company. How you went to work at this company and you did this and you did this. And I took an organization of two people. I was a CPA. I went to work at an accounting company and they had 4 employees. And I worked there for 5 years and I was instrumental in building them from 4 employees to 40 employees. Well, how does that help me, Pastor? It lets the shareholders that are investing in you know that you have wisdom. Know that you're a leader. Know that you can develop things. Know that you can build things. Watch this. Know that you can work well within a team. Some of y'all want to own businesses and you can't even work well within a team. If you're not doing your thing your way, the way you got to have it, you don't work well. And that's why you want to start a business. We can't build businesses that way. We have to build businesses on sound business principles of helping others and seeing others grab and take hold of our vision and then develop. That's the beauty of it. All right. I love you. I love you. I love you. I hope this has been beneficial to you. Until tomorrow, Pastor Nick saying, enjoy